Anyway, I lose the appeal. So I went, okay. So next, I take a look at the Judicial Review Commission. You know, how do you report all these high crimes by these judges? Who do you report them to? Well, there's this thing called the Judicial Review Commission, which is where you report, you know, inappropriate, you know, malfeasance by judges and such. And I get their yearly report, and I read it, and it comes to something like this. It's a little pamphlet about this big. I have it yet. And basically, out of 785, or maybe it was 900 complaints against judges in the past year, they put out this report yearly, I think it was like 850 judges were complained against. 799 were dismissed, and I forget what the term was, but it's like clerically, and it was just dismissed by the clerks. Of the matters tried, like 5 judges will retire. Another 3 judges will receive public reprimand, and maybe 4 judges will receive secret reprimand. In other words, they're going to get a reprimand, but it's not something any member of the public or anybody else sees. It's just like they take them in the back room and go, okay, now don't do that again. So, in other words, there's no reason for the, and by the way, the Judicial Review Commission is composed of attorneys and judges. You know, I think there's a few civilians on board, you know, family members probably. So anyways, I realize that's a total waste of time. So what the federal court's protection is of these high crimes by, you know, how the appellate court could totally ignore the high crimes by the lower court. They must be expecting federal, you know, does this corruption, this absolute treason and tyranny against the American public extend up to the federal court? Well, here's an opportunity to test it. I need to take these guys into federal.
One of the really interesting things is I go back to the appellate court and I want to get a transcript of what occurred at that hearing, you know, in regards to my part of the case. And they went, you can't get a transcript of an appellate court hearing. And I'm going, what the hell are you talking about, buddy? The law states, court shall be of record. And he goes, well, you can't get a thing of it. And so I'm arguing there with him, and finally he goes, well, I suppose if you took a recording over the air from the recorder that we used to record it. You know, I said, hey, I know you recorded. I saw a recorder on her desk. She was running it, okay? So I know there's recordings of it. I want to copy the goddamn recording. We can't give you those. Well, I would like a transcription of it. Can't give you that. Can't allow it.
Anyways, here we have the federal courthouse. So anyway, I've decided I'm going to test the federal court's protection of the trial court's protection, of the appellate court's protection, of the trial court's protection, of attorneys conducting frauds against the public, and the promotion thereof. And the way I do it is I sue these judges. To get into federal court, you have to have an issue that crosses state lines. Well, the insurance companies are national. Their money changes crosses state lines. And if this kind of criminal activity was higher in California than the rest, there would be a net inflow of money, etc. Anyways, I filed a federal lawsuit against all these judges, and it's a lot of paperwork, and but I don't get it in on time. And finally, I just kind of give up on it. It's just going to be too much effort. It's too complicated. The way you have to write it. Writing the suit under RICO. I mean, it took me probably 6 months to even finally figure out how to do it. I mean, it is so complicated. I mean, it's like they say. It's almost like there's a blueprint, and you got to follow the blueprint, and it's just not logical for. It didn't seem logical to me. But anyways, so I don't get it in on time, and you know, I figure it's blown off. So anyway, I get this notice in the mail sometime later that says You know, hearing has been set on this date before Judge Brewster, Federal Judge Brewster, and to show cause why this case should not be dismissed. Okay, and I'm thinking, Jesus, it hasn't been dismissed? You know, news to me. I thought it would have been dismissed. Well, there's a little known law that says statutes of limitations shall not be employed such as to obstruct justice. But anyways, so I show up. Now I'm suing the trial court judge, Ronald L. Johnson. I'm trying to sue the presiding judge of the Superior Court, because when you when you first file an appeal, it's actually filed in the Superior Court, so that the Superior Court has a chance to review what it is you're appealing. And so I'm doing the presiding judge, or trying to do the presiding judge. Actually, I misnamed him. I got the wrong presiding judge. I don't know if it had changed or what, but anyway. And then I sued the 3 appellate judges that were simultaneously on the bench at orals, and I sued the presiding judge of the Superior Court, who was directing the clerk of the court, who I was also suing, to conduct all this obstruction of my presentation of my appellate briefs. And so the judge comes in. Just before this, I had received some kind of a notice that these judges might be granted, there was a motion to grant these judges judicial immunity. I submitted an argument countering that said judicial immunity is not absolute where malice is shown.